Hi children, now we are going to discuss in chapter 6th about one of the largest continents in the world. To the west of India lies a large continent. On this continent there are extensive deserts, dense forests, long and broad rivers, numerous large lakes and grasslands. There are certain wild animals which can't find out in our country. The world's largest gold and diamond mines are located here. Do you know what is this continent? That is Africa. You will be surprised to know that Africa is the cradle of the humankind. Human beings first evolution took place in Africa and then moved to other continents. Look at the three pictures. First picture, equatorial type forest, which is the one of the biggest forest in the world. Next picture, savanna grassland, we can see in Kenya. Third picture, the city of the Cairo on the bank of the river Nile, which is the longest river in the world. Now we are going to discussing about a vast plateau in Africa. Look at the physical map of Africa. Do you see any large plains in the interior of the continent? No, we can't see. Only on the coast do we find narrow plains. The remaining of the continent occupying with vast plateaus in different heights. Look for the valleys of the Nile and the Congo rivers. There are also several mountains on this plateau, mainly Atlas and Kilimanjaro. The Kilimanjaro is the highest peak in the Africa, which is located in Tanzania. Look at the map 1 and answer the following questions. What is the average height of the narrow coastal plains? So this is a student activity. Already in the map given some range of heights with different colors. With the help of these colors, you have to find out the answers for given questions. Look at the relief map of Africa. We can see here different rivers and deserts and mountains. The biggest desert in the world, that is Sahara, located on the north side of this map. And one more desert we can see on the south side, that is Kalahari Desert. The Sahara Desert, which receives very scanty rainfall, which is the biggest desert in the world. There is only one river which crosses the Sahara Desert, that is Nile River. The Lake Victoria is the largest lake in Africa. This is one of the largest freshwater lake in the world, where this river has receives heavy rainfall that there is enough water to flow across the desert into the Mediterranean Sea. The Nile also flows through the Egypt. Most of the Egypt is in a desert. The Nile has helped a civilization to develop in this desert. Egyptian civilization is several thousands years old. The waters of the Nile have helped to irrigate the fields of Egypt. That's why Egypt also known as gift of the Nile. Without Nile there is no Egypt. All people of the Egypt depending upon this river. If you look at the Africa on the globe or map, you will find that the equator passes through its middle. Thus Africa is divided into northern and southern part by the equator. Between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn is the hottest region of the world. This region known as tropic region. The zones south and the north of the tropic known as the temperate zones. Look at the outline map of Africa. Three important latitudes crossing this continent. Already one line given, that is the equator, and above the equator that line is called Tropic of Cancer. Below the equator that line is called Tropic of Capricorn. Here given one student activity. Locate the zone on the map of Africa and color it and label it as the tropical region. Color the zone north of the Tropic of Cancer and south of the Tropic of Capricorn in different colors. Rainfall, it is not even. Some areas receive heavy rainfall, some areas scanty rainfall. Heavy rainfall received by the equatorial region, the scanty rainfall we can see in deserts. Look at the map 3, it shows the distribution of rainfall in Africa. Here given three different types of rainfall: high rainfall, medium rainfall, low rainfall. A large part of the Africa on the both sides of the equator receives heavy rainfall. On the north side receives low rainfall because on the north side covered with Sahara Desert. and also south side is low rainfall. Here also located Kalahari Desert. Look at the map for it shows natural vegetation in Africa. There are in central and western Africa they have dense forest due to heavy rainfall and warm climate. Now we are going to discussing about the African regions with moderate and scanty rainfall. Moderate rainfall means medium rainfall, not heavy rainfall, not low rainfall. In the heavy rainfall we can see in equatorial regions in Africa. Due to the moderate rainfall, tall grass growing in this region. In some places these grass are so tall that even elephants can hide in them. This grass also known as elephant grass. Some trees also grow between the grass. This region known as savanna grasslands. In the arid region, there is no rainfall at all for several years. Heavy rainfall throughout the year. In Africa, somewhere there is a dense forest. In another area, trees and grass growing together, and some areas covered with shrubs. In some areas, there is no vegetation at all. Now, let us know about the people of Africa. People with different languages, lifestyles, and habits live in different regions of Africa. Since ancient times, the people have lived in small tribes, carrying out hunting, gathering, animal husbandry, and agriculture, and they cultivate the land on the river banks. For a long time, the people from other continents were largely ignored about Africa, but Europeans were know the only northern coast of Africa, while the India and Arab traders know about the eastern coast. About 500 years ago, Europeans began their attempts to reach India by the sea route by going around Africa. In 1498, a Portuguese sailor named Vasco da Gama went around the southern tip of Africa and reached India. Now we are going to discussing about the African sea coast. There are several cities on the coast where the traders from distant countries came to trade. Initially, when Europeans tried to go inland, many African tribes came in direct conflict with them. Europeans started unfair trade, that is slave trade, and sold them abroad, mainly Americans. They wanted to establish their rule over Africa and exploit the resources. Now we are going to discussing about slave trade. In the 16th century, many Europeans began migrating to America and started cultivation there. There was plenty of land in America, but not enough people to work on their fields. To fill up the gap, the slave trade began from Africa. African tribal leaders captured tribal people mainly from the coastal area of Guinea as well as eastern Africa. The captured people were brought to the coast and sold to the Europeans. In the exchange of the slaves, the African tribal leaders accepted guns, iron objects, liquor, and clothes. Many tribal people died by the time they reached the ports. The ships were stuffed with slaves. There were no proper arrangements for the food and medicine. In those days, it took several days to reach America. So many slaves died due to illness and malnutrition. Even in America, inhuman treatment and punishments meted out to them. Despite working hard, they were not given proper food or living quarters. In this manner, millions of Africans were enslaved and taken to North and South America and the nearby islands. Lakhs of people died after they were made slaves. In the 16th and 17th centuries, numerous companies were engaged in the slave trade. Eventually, the slave trade ended in the 19th century and the slave trade were declared free citizens in America in 1860. Now we are going to discussing about European colonies in Africa. Earlier, we have read that Europeans had reached India by going around Africa. Subsequently, these Europeans started halting at African ports. Slowly, the Portuguese, Dutch, English, French, and Germans. Look at the map. It shows European colonies in Africa in 1913. Belgium, Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Portugal, Spain. These are countries belongs to European countries. These countries controlling on African continent. Look at the map. Ethiopia and Libya, these countries independent countries, except these two remaining all countries controlling by the European countries. Example, red color countries controlling by the Britain, blue color countries controlling by the France. The Europeans continued to explore the interior of the continent. They traveled to the source of the Nile in the north, in the west. They explored their entire valleys of the Nile and in the south and settled there and controlling local areas. The Europeans exported African timber, minerals, etc. on very large scale to Europe. In fact, the gold and diamonds mines in the southern Africa are still under the control of European companies. Now we are going to discussing about the crops and plantation of Nigeria. Some of the eating chocolates made of cocoa, which grows in Nigeria. In southern Nigeria, apart from the cocoa, there are also rubber plantation. Oil-bearing palm trees are also found there. Oil extracted from its fruits. People reach these forests crossing the Niger River by boat to collect the palm fruits. Plantations were started by the British, who were not satisfied with the quantity of wild products collected from the forest. They wanted to produce more and export them. Nigerian people started working in these plantations, while the British were their managers. Most of the profit from the rubber, cocoa and palm oil went to the Britain. But the Nigerian people worked there only as agricultural labor. Nigeria was under the British rule until 1960. After the long struggle against the European countries, the African countries got independence from the European powers. Now we are going to discussing about the minerals of Africa. The continent is very rich in minerals like gold, copper, tin, gold and diamonds. One of the main aim of Europeans in Africa was to exploit these resources. Mineral oil or petroleum is the most important natural resources of Nigeria. The Dutch companies established control over the oil mining and refining in Nigeria. These industries mostly in the hands of the foreign companies. The Nigerian government has only a small share in the industries. The foreign companies do bring in new technology and investment into the mining and processing of industries, thus the creating employment for the local people. African people, most of these companies are also careless about the environmental protection and have caused immense damage to the natural environment. In the coming class, we will discuss chapter 14th, Mughal Empire.